2 goals.
Oh, and another goal for Super Eagles. This is Premier Football Center. I need it anywhere. Don't forget to subscribe. Remember to click that subscription button.
Hello viewers, you're welcome to your favorite sports show of the week. It's Top Sport on Premier Sport Fan Center. It's a massive weekend of football with league titles, cup glories, and transfer balls on the horizon. Oh, I'm joined by our top pundit, Paulo. You're welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Happy to be here once again. To discuss everything happening around the world of sport, and but like you said, a lot of actions. But I'm happy. Let's discuss.
Yeah, so he said he's happy to be here to discuss sport again. Who won't be happy as the meal we like to digest every time now and then. So let's dive into our headlines for today. First off, it says Liverpool's big moment is here and almost here. Let me use the word almost here. Liverpool are just 1 point away from lifting the Premier League trophy. A draw against Tottenham would be enough. Can they hold their nerve? We will answer the question in due time. Secondly, Rashford and Antony, Amorim stamp on United. Ruben Amorim has praised Rashford and Antony for their recent showing at Aston Villa and Real Betis. Is this starting to influence Manchester United's new era? Well, we'll see about that. And we also have De Bruyne on the move. Aston Villa's big ambition. Reports suggest Kevin De Bruyne could leave Manchester City, or is actually leaving Manchester City before the Club World Cup. He could leave before the Club World Cup rather. And Aston Villa are in the mix. Well, so many interesting headlines today for you to ponder on while we dive into the show proper. Zubimendi's future, Arsenal or Real Madrid? Martins Zubimendi's future hanging in the balance. Arsenal are confident, but Real Madrid lock. Zubimendi, that Spanish midfielder who came into the shoes of Rodri in that final, and he fit into it perfectly. Domestic actions heating up. Let's look ahead to a package weekend of fixture. Which of these games will shape the season's ending? So we have a review coming up also. It promises to be an exciting, mind-blowing, and really knowledge filled game show today. And Paulo, let's dive right into it. Liverpool's big moment. It is that time of the season whereby most likely, though we all spoken about it, that is their trophy to lose and all, but officially a draw against Tottenham will put the icing on the cake.
For Liverpool, I think they know what to do, and it's just a draw for them to be officially confirmed as the winner of the 2024-2025 season in the APL. And I think they'll definitely get it done. They are at home against Tottenham, is struggling team, and I think Tottenham have already given up on the league with the way they've been playing, because they have their eyes set on the Europa League. I believe they've seen that as a route for them to make it into the Champions League come next season. And for Liverpool, I think looking at how they've performed this season, nobody will argue that they are not the best team in the league, because they've been very, very spectacular to me.
Yeah, they've been
When it comes to the
consistent.
very, very consistent, rather, compared to every other team, in the league. So I think they'll definitely get it done tomorrow. Just a draw, it will be enough. I even see them winning that game tomorrow.
Now you see them winning that game tomorrow. Yes, like everybody will do, because Tottenham is having a rough patch right now. But it looks more like a bit of a rivalry. Don't you see Tottenham at least actually surprising them tomorrow?
Well, I don't see that. Even when it's not about Liverpool winning the league. I mean the league. We've seen for the past 3-4 seasons. The last time Liverpool Tottenham actually took a point from Liverpool. I think it should be this season also in the League Cup. They played at, I think. Okay, Tottenham defeated Liverpool, I think, by a lone goal at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Aside from that, I can't remember in the last time Tottenham actually, defeated or even pick up a draw against Liverpool. I know there's rivalry. It's a big, it's one of the big matches in when it comes to the APA. But this Tottenham of now, I don't see them even getting a draw tomorrow.
Wow, so you are practically ruling them out.
Oh, definitely.
Wow, definitely follow that statement. Yeah, but for me, in football, impossibility is nothing. When you see, okay, who would have thought that Ipswich will go to Chelsea and get a 2-2 draw after the conditions surrounding that match? So when you talk about Tottenham right there, they are sitting a second half of the table, and they actually need every point they can get.
Yeah, but it's a different scenario now, because you're looking at Ipswich Town. Ipswich Town, they are still battling for relegation. Tottenham have seen the table mathematically; they cannot, go down. But for Ipswich Town, they're still fighting to see if they will be able to, make it into. I mean, to not go down into the championship. But looking at Tottenham Hotspur, a team that has lost 18 games this season out of the 33 games they've played, they've lost 18 games. So how do you explain that? Looking at their last match, they were also defeated by Nottingham Forest at home. So is it are they going to Anfield to get the 3 point? What you've not been able to do for a while now, you are going there to do just that. I don't think Tottenham will definitely want to be serious with that match, because they like I said earlier on, they have their high for the Europa League, and they want to rotate or even rest some of their players for the match coming up against, I think they'll be playing the team from Norway, Bodo Glimt. So I don't see Tottenham. It's not. I understand in football, nothing is 100% sure in football, but this Tottenham I'm saying, they'll definitely be whipped by Liverpool. I think.
Yeah, it's actually difficult to defend Tottenham this season. And to a second headline, Rashford and Antony. You've seen how they've picked up from their respective clubs they are on loan at, Real Betis and Aston Villa. What would you make of that before we delve into what Amorim said? Why is it that we saw Sancho too last season? Players while in Manchester United, looks like their career is nosediving, and they get to another club, they pick for.
Yeah, I think it's a Manchester United problem, because I could remember this same discussion we've had it several times, not on other platform also, and I want to believe it's a Manchester United problem, because this is not the first time we are seeing something like that. We've seen it with a lot of players have left Manchester United, including probably some people say it's the greatest footballer of all time, see Ronaldo. We saw how where the second season at Manchester United, how everything just went rough for him till he left, and where he is now, he's banging in goals week in week out for them. But looking at Rashford and Antony, I think they've struggled with Manchester United, and more really Antony, because the expectation on Antony was very very high, given the amount they bought him, and they were expecting him to turn things around for Manchester United, but he has failed to do that with Manchester United. And but for Rashford, I think Rashford has had his moment with Manchester United. He has won a lot also with them. I believe he's part of the team that also won. I think the Europa League for them, if I'm correct, and he also won the FA Cup with them. But
also the League Cup.
The League Cup, yeah. And but in the last 2-3 seasons, everything's changed for Marcus Rashford. He suddenly went cold, unable to get goals. And
but don't you think it's an attitude problem, more of like a lot of things that are happening off the pitch?
I don't think so. You mean off the pitch for those players?
For Rashford, especially, we saw even Eric Ten Hag, who really liked him, at some point had to bench him for coming late.
Yeah, that's another different scenario. There are a lot of players that do come late, with their, to their teams, and they sort out things, but that doesn't change your performance on the pitch like Manchester United. I can give you cause some names. We saw Romelu Lukaku. Same thing happened to him at Manchester United. Suddenly he just went cold. He immediately left. I think he left for, is it Inter Milan? He won the league with them there, if I'm correct, with Inter Milan. Look at Scott McTominay, performing better now than there are a lot of players, and a lot of players come to Manchester United. We are still talking about Rashford and Antony because they've left. Let's talk about those ones that are presently there now. Rasmus Højlund, Joshua Zexi. What are you going to say about all those ones also? I think it's a Manchester United issue.
Can we now say that the performance of Antony and Rashford on loan right now can actually influence Manchester United new era? Maybe they will not be part of the project in the long run.
Well, I don't think those guys will be part of Manchester United project anymore, because the only thing this performance is going to do is for that is going to do or help Manchester United is when they are selling these players now, it will only increase their their stock, their value. But then coming back to Manchester United to pick up a starting spot in the Manchester United lineup, I don't see that happening. And if I'm one of those players, I won't want to come back, because I've been there for Rashford. He's been there for more than 6 or 7 years, if I'm correct. And looking at the last 3 seasons, everything just completely went wrong for him. And you could see the Manchester United fans also, they are not happy with him anymore. So why are you coming back? I will only
so for you, Rashford and Antony should just stay where they are.
Better off stay where they are, because I think that even those clubs they are now,
but can those clubs afford them?
That's the issue. They'll find a way to afford. I think for Rashford, a lot of clubs will be able to afford them. Might be Aston Villa.
So can we say those players are now revitalized while on loan?
I think so. They found the right environment and the right managers to be able to convince them, put them on on the right path, and make sure they get the right training. And you can see the impact they are making with the different clubs. Look for Antony, that everyone thinks he's already gone. Look at how he's been scoring week in, week out. And I think with Antony now, Real Betis, the last time I checked, I think they are on 5th position now in the league. So for me, both players should be, if there's a possibility of them remaining in that club they are right now, let them just stay there and enjoy their career.
And how important are these players? Because now that they are performing, it will increase their confidence. So how important is their confidence for Amorim's system in case they stay?
You mean in case they
stay at Man U?
Well, it's like I said earlier on. I don't see them, staying back. Coming back to match. Though they will come back because they are on loan, but coming back to start games for Manchester, I don't see that. But if they decide to come back, I don't know who they are going to bench right now, because looking at Manchester United, there are talks about they are bringing on a new set of players also. So it's going to be very difficult. I don't know who they are going to bench, and when you come back again and they now put you back on the bench, it's not going to help them themselves. they drop, they will lose form. The only way for them is once they come back to Manchester United and they are given a starting spot immediately. I think that will really help them. That is, if the problem Manchester United are having right now, if they are able to solve it. Because to me, like I said earlier on, I think the issue with most of those players is not just about those players, it's about the club itself. So Manchester United needs to first of all find a way to sort whatever issue they are having as a club, then before looking at those players.
So, for you, what do you think Manchester United fans should expect for next season? Ruben Amorim, the performance, where they are, and the future looks bleak and all those things. So, what do you think fans should expect from Manchester United, the attack next season, if this current form continues?
Well, it's very, very difficult to, at the moment now, to see any bright future for Manchester United. Because, the reason I'm saying this is that looking at how the season has been going for them, their only hope now has been put on them winning the Europa League. Because if they win the Europa League, will determine how the future is going to be for them. At the moment now,
but when you look at it, it's not just about the Europa League. We're talking about the attack right here. The fans, goals rules the game. Manchester United fans will want their team to score a whole lot of goals. Now, with the form of Rashford, Antony, and some of the guys said so unlucky for Man U that Amad Diallo had to get injured. Now, what do you think the expectations of the Manchester United fans should be for that attack? Not just about going to the Champions League, but for the attacking press.
I've spoken a lot of Manchester United fans, and their opinion varies. But one thing they all agree is that they need to bring in a new set of attackers. And if you could look at the transfer window, they've been linked with some top players, Kunya and Victor Osimhen. But we don't know how
I
true
think
is that.
The Victor Osimhen has been called out to be a rumor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that we don't know how true it is. It's a rumor actually now. And I also talking about Delap also. But
I think also Mateta too.
Well, I'll be surprised if you go for Jean-Philippe Mateta. Though he has been tormenting Manchester United for some time. Probably that might be one of the reasons they might decide to go for him. But for Manchester United, their fans are all agree that they need to bring in new set of attackers. Because we've seen the ones they had now, Joshua Zexi and Rasmus Højlund. Both of them seems like they don't even know how to score goals anymore. They've been struggling. So I think for Manchester United to progress, they will need to bring in not just attackers, because when you have the best strikers in the world and your midfield are not, doing the needful, supplying those players, it will be very, very difficult. Because at a time, some Manchester United fans were complaining that Rasmus Højlund and Joshua Zexi, they don't get the service they need. But later on, they now come to realize that it's not just about them getting the service, but the little ones they've been getting, they've not been able to, convert it. So that is why Manchester United needs to go to the market, bring in a top quality striker and midfielders, so that because when you say next season, but I also believe that next season, for Manchester United to be able to get in a proper striker or attackers or wingers, they have to make it to the Champions League. Because if they fail to make it to the Champions League with the position they are now, I don't see any elite player coming on to join Manchester United. Though some will argue that they are a big club, they can attract players, but I don't think so. At this Manchester United of now, if they fail to make it to the Champions League,
let's just Manchester United. Let's just talk. Leave Manchester United. It's still a conversation that will still tread into the next season. Right now, we see that there are suggestions that even Kevin De Bruyne could leave before the World Club Cup right there in the United States, and Aston Villa are in the mix. Do you think letting go of Kevin De Bruyne will be a wise decision for Aston Villa.
For
Manchester City.
Yeah.
Before the Club World Cup.
Well, I think let me start by saying before his contract, I believe, is going to expire even before the World Cup start. So for him to participate in that World Cup, perhaps they will have to
be a provision.
But
his contract should expire. Okay, at the end of May. May or June.
That's I think the first week of June. That's when most players' contract do expire. Yeah. So if he's going to play that tournament, that means he has to renew his contract with them. Probably maybe 1 month or 2 months. I don't know if it's possible for them to sign him.
Find a provision within.
And I don't think that will happen. That is
but the player has a good relationship with the club.
Well, it's
so anything
definitely
can
happen.
But looking at Aston Villa, is he a good fit at this stage of his career?
Well, at the moment, Aston Villa are doing well. And if he should join Aston Villa, I don't think he's going there to be the main man. But I think his experience will be needed. Yeah, because if got experience, probably from there he become player coach also. And looking at Aston Villa at the moment, they're on the rise. You saw them in the Champions League this season, and they are still pushing to make it to the Champions League. And I think they are still in the FA Cup playoff.
They're still in the Cup. So they have a match tomorrow. We'll get to that.
I believe it's not a bad.
But with De Bruyne coming up, do you think Aston Villa could challenge for the title? Well, if they could bring De Bruyne into their setup?
Well, I don't think so. What I would say is that they need to first of all, make sure they challenge for the top 4. When you are stable. You have at least looking at the teams that have won the league for the last 5-7 years. You see that most of them, apart from Leicester City, they actually won it. That's one in the one. This it do happen, but you don't expect.
Once in a blue moon.
So, what Aston Villa need first is for them to make sure they cement their spot in the top 4. Be among the big. Is it big 5 now or big 6 now? Make sure you are part of them. Then once you are able to cement your spot in the top 5 or top 6, then you can go ahead and challenge for the Champions League. I'm not taking anything away from them, from they
for the league, not Champions League.
For the league, you need to first of all, make sure you are constant. You become part and parcel of that top 4. You continue to challenge.
Before they can challenge. But Leicester City didn't have to do that.
That's what I'm saying. That it happened. Since the following season.
But why can't it happen for Aston Villa?
Well, I'm not ruling them out, but the way we see it, once the season starts, if you ask me, who are the club likely to win the league, I will mention those normal traditional
teams. But if De Bruyne join their setup, it will increase their chances. Because if you look at Aston Villa against any of these big sides, they can hold their own.
Of course, but I don't.
So now, when you add De Bruyne to it, it's a plus.
It's a plus, but like I said earlier on, De Bruyne will not give them that 100% he has given Manchester City. He doesn't have it anymore. If he still have it, Manchester City will definitely want to renew his contract. But what he's going to bring is that experience. I think do
you think because he doesn't have it, that's why Man City is letting him go, or because of the injuries?
I don't think it's because of the injury. I think it's because he doesn't have it anymore. He's a top quality player, but at the moment now, De Bruyne is not that level he used to be.
But age is setting in too. But I think De Bruyne is still one hell of a talent right there. So Martin Zubimendi, his future is hanging in the balance. Arsenal are confident Real Madrid is around him. The romance is up. Now looking at Zubimendi now, between Real Madrid and Arsenal, who do you think needs Zubimendi more?
Well, it depends. Looking at both clubs, their midfield, Zubimendi. Let's talk about Real Madrid first. If Zubimendi joins Real Madrid, I don't know who is going to bench, because Zubimendi plays as the number 6. Looking at Real Madrid now, they have Tchouaméni there. I don't know if he's going to bench him or not. He might bench him because he's a top
but they have failed to replace Toni Kroos.
But they don't play the same role. That's the issue. They don't play the same role.
But it's still the holding midfield role.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Zubimendi can do the job of Toni Kroos.
Well, I don't know if you'll be able to give the kind of performance Toni Kroos gives, because what Real Madrid needs is to find a perfect replacement for.
Okay, what does Toni Kroos does that Real Madrid needs to replace is the passes.
The passes, and
He does what
also.
you do with 3 passes. He can do it with 1 pass.
And he come up with the goals also.
Yeah, Zubimendi can score.
But I don't think he scores like the way what's his name, Kroos. And crucial moment. Those we saw how Toni Kroos. Just one moment, it might change the game.
But looking at Arsenal, what do you think he will bring to Arsenal that Partey has not brought to Arsenal? And meanwhile, they have opened talks with Partey to renew his deal.
Yeah, for Arsenal, if Arsenal could get him, I think it's going to be a big plus. Like you rightly said, they've opened. That's what we heard in the news, that there's they've opened contract talks with Thomas Partey. I don't think he's coming to replace Thomas Partey at the moment, but I think he's coming. Because Jorginho will be leaving. Because once Jorginho leaves, Arsenal will be having. Though they're supposed to have 2 number DM now, which is Thomas Partey and Declan Rice. But we all agree Declan Rice cannot be sitting at that DM with the way he has been playing now. So it's better they push him upward. So the Arsenal needs someone else. And looking at Thomas Partey, Arsenal, if he's to agree new contract with Arsenal, I don't see them giving him more than 2 seasons.
Yeah, he's already 31.
Yeah, I don't see them giving him more than 2 seasons. And I think he can come in, and study Thomas Partey for the next 1-2 seasons. Then
Zubimendi understudy when there's a Real Madrid waiting for him also.
Them all, because we've seen, he can come in and play also at the same time. Because Thomas Partey, we know Thomas Partey. Arsenal have been lucky with Thomas Partey this season, because he has not been.
Even last season, his injuries were low compared to 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, but last season he was also injured. But this season, Arsenal have been very, very lucky with him. So I think Arsenal needs Zubimendi, because they've been talking about.
Do you think that's luck or proper management?
Well, I think it's part. It's both management and luck, because.
So what exactly is Arsenal lacking that Zubimendi is bringing?
Well, Zubimendi is also one of those top quality midfielder. I think he can do the job of Thomas Partey also.
All right. So looking at the actions this weekend, Chelsea. Let's be quick with this. Chelsea Everton. What do you think would happen? Can Chelsea stay consistent with the winning mentality they started last week?
Yeah, it's going to be a very difficult match because Everton are very, very. I use the word stubborn, because we've seen how they've been playing. But for Chelsea, I think they know what to do, because this is the only these are the last chances for them now to make it into the
Champions League
spot. And if they fail to win tomorrow, it's going to be a very, very a long, the remaining games, it's going to be a very, very tough one for them, because looking at the remaining games, I want to believe this Everton game is probably the cheapest.
Yes, the least. No game is cheap in the Premier League, actually. Now, Newcastle, Ipswich. Can Ipswich shock them? Newcastle all the way.
We might see Ipswich Town might be confirmed, as in
relegated tomorrow. When we need not be confirmed with the way Wolves is playing. Bournemouth, Manchester United. Is it a trap for United after a European?
Well, the manager already said that he's going to be playing from now. That's after the Lyon game. He says he's going to be playing probably the reserve team, and we saw their last match against Wolves. We saw them giving debut to some new set of players, and I think Bournemouth will definitely win them.
And we've spoken about Liverpool already. Now let's go to the FA Cup semi-final. Crystal Palace, Aston Villa. Who do you think will take the day?
It's going to be a hard one to call. Aston Villa are in form, but Crystal Palace, they know how to sprung in surprises. We saw them 2-2 draw against Arsenal, and but looking at it, you want to give it to Aston Villa.
All right. So looking at it, Nottingham Forest, Man City. Do you think City is still hungry to win this FA Cup?
Well, this is the only redemption now for Manchester City woeful performance this season. But we've seen Nottingham Forest. They are a very, very, very strong side. Though you still, like I said about Aston Villa, you still fancy Manchester City winning.
You still fancy Manchester City taking all the goodies in that one. So straight to Copa del Rey final, Barcelona Real Madrid. Well, the clash of the Titans is the Copa del Rey final. What do you think will happen in that?
Well, at this moment now, we don't know if the match is going to go. Though the match is supposed to go on, but we don't know if Real Madrid will turn up because there's been a lot of words going on right as of today between the Real Madrid owner, Florentino Perez, the refereeing association, and the league management there. Because Real Madrid, they've been complaining that they don't want that referee, but the FA has decided no, they are not changing it. And there's the press conference the referees had, they've been complaining about how Real Madrid, I think Real Madrid TV has been bashing them.
So looking at it right now, which of the games this weekend do you think between Liverpool, Man City, or Arsenal that has the highest stake in it?
Well, all games are, they have one or two things, to fight for. Maybe all these teams we've just analyzed now. But the match between Tottenham and Liverpool and Tottenham has a lot at stake because Liverpool want to win the league and the Copa del Rey final also. I just hope the match go ahead. But our eyes will be on both Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Liverpool, Tottenham.
Yeah, so straight to the UEFA Champions League. Now let's talk about Arsenal, PSG, and also rush the other fixture, Barcelona, Inter. Which of them do you think will take the day?
Well, I think Arsenal will definitely take the day,
and
Barcelona.
So thank you for joining us this weekend. Stay up till next week, and we'll be back again. Paulo, thank you for joining us. My name is Afola and Joseph. We'll see you again next week, and join us for the shows this weekend. God bless you.